Hey folks, Harley Day Rider back at you once again. Your good old friend HDR out here on a lovely 2018 Road Glide Ultra. And the Road Glide Ultra has been with me 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row I've been able to ride to work. That's a milestone. But supposed to get some storms moving through the area sometime later this afternoon, and I hate when the news says later this afternoon. When did this afternoon become until 9, 10 o'clock at night? I mean, to me that's early evening, but apparently the newscasters' afternoons go from anywhere from 11 o'clock until, I don't know, 10 p.m. So I wish I was able to pinpoint it down a little bit better and say, give it a time. But I mean, it's this time of year. It's hot. It's muggy. You're going to get pop-up showers. You're going to get pop-up thunderstorms. I mean, that's just going to happen. But yeah, I told you once before, I don't mind riding to work as long as I'm staying dry on the way to work. If you get a little rain coming home, I mean, that's part of being on a motorcycle. That is why the motorcycles can be cleaned. We can always clean them off there. And I think peer pressure has got me going now, because I think I'm going to buy a bottle of that F11. Everybody, I see D-Best 1A now is just raving about the stuff, how wonderful it is. I know Bodine 52 raves about it. He loves it. So I just need something to be able to wipe the bike off, wipe her down. When you get in those brief rainstorms. Maybe she don't need a full wash. Here's a question for you. If you have a bagger, any bagger actually, even a Softail with saddlebags, how often do you take your saddlebags off when you wash? I started doing it every other wash. I'll take the saddlebags off, make sure everything underneath of it's cleaned out and shiny. But yeah, so how many times do you take your saddlebags off? Maybe every time? And if you use F11, or any kind of dry, is it a dry wash? Is that what you'd call that? Or a wiping wash? I don't know. Yeah. How often do you do that? Do you do it after every ride? Is that something you go home and you got to get all the dust off the bike right away? I mean, my bike occasionally is probably not as clean as I should keep her. If my dad was still alive, he would really be, he would yell at me for sure, because, my dad used to always buy used cars. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, and he worked very, very hard, but we had household expenses. We had 3 kids at home, the routine. So my dad always bought used cars. Well, one time they had the chance, Mom and Dad had a chance to buy themselves a slightly used demo car, I guess that's called. I guess lots used to have certain cars that you'd go and test drive and to see if you liked it, and then they would order it for you or something to that point. But it had some mileage on it, and Dad bought the car. Dad and Mom were happy. It was a Ford. Was it a Ford Comet? Well, I think they lost their cutter over the hillside over there. It's actually flipped over. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, but I think it was a Ford Comet, and Dad loved that car, man. That car was his pride and joy, because it was the newest thing they could ever afford to buy. And they got the car for, I guess for a good deal. I don't know. I mean, I was young. But boy, Dad took care of that car. He, all the time, always tinkering with it and shining it up. And one time I said, Dad, I'll wax the car for you. Oh, okay, son, that would be really nice of you, my boy. So I go out and I start waxing the car. He comes out and he's like, what the heck's going on? I said, what, Dad? He goes, you're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. Get away. So Dad took over and started waxing the car. He had a very, very set way of doing things. And he was a very good man. He wasn't a mean father or anything. He wasn't, I wasn't alcoholic or anything. My dad was just a good old-fashioned dad that he's just had certain ways of doing things, such as mowing the grass. And it's funny now, because I tell Mrs. HDR these stories, and she'll laugh when she's out mowing the grass, but I was out mowing the grass one day. He come out, he said, "What are you doing, boy?" And I said, "What's wrong, Dad?" "Why do you got all those cat steps in the yard?" And I said, "What's a cat step?" My dad had words for things that I had no idea what they were. A cat step is when you're mowing or when you're doing anything, right? And it's not a perfectly straight line. You're cat stepping it, get it? You're cat stepping real slow how the cat steps. And he called it a cat step. So today, now when Mrs. A's yard cuts grass, I'm like, "Why are you putting cat steps in the yard?" She just starts laughing. It's just one of our little inside jokes there, but... And I'm sure your parents had sayings when you were growing up, and you're like, "What the heck are you talking about?" Maybe we do today. My dad used to say, if something was expensive, he would say, "Oh, that's really dear." And I'm like, "I don't know what's deer, Dad?" And I'm like deer that you shoot, deer like I love you, deer. I don't know. He said, "No, expensive. We call that really dear." That's what they called it back in the 50s and 60s. It was expensive. So yeah, they definitely had some words, man. And I'm sure if you talk to any of the old timers, you'll probably get some of them words right back. They never called the movies a movie. It was a picture show. I don't know. It was a picture show. So that was pretty cool. That would say, yeah, we used to go out. They used to go out and collect bottles. Remember when you used to be able to refund bottles? Well, back when he was growing up, they would be 2 cents a piece. But, to go to the picture show was 10 cents. You go to the show and get a bag of popcorn for a dime. So him and his brother would go out and collect bottles all day, and they'd refund them at the store, and they'd go to the picture show. So, yeah, I miss my dad. I truly miss my dad. My mom's still living. God bless her. She's 84 years old. And she wants to go for a motorcycle ride. If it's nice this Saturday, I think I'm going to call her up and see if she wants to go for a little spin before the weather changes. And if I get her out, if I get her on a Senna, we'll get some recordings of that. That should be fun. But Mom's a little thing, Mom's 85 pounds. I don't want her to blow off the back, so I'll probably bungee cord her on. But that is one of my intentions for Saturday. So, all right, but let me know in the comments below any of your thoughts there on this topic today. Old-timer sayings. I'm sure your parents or your family had quite a bit of those growing up. So, be good to hear. All right, everybody, I'm going to motivate on my way to work and get started on this work day. Take care, Harley Day Rider. Oh, remember, sometimes I forget, ride your own ride. Be safe out there on the roadways. I will talk to you next time. Harley Day Rider be down and out. In the gorgeous morning here of southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye-bye for now.